come on in because we are discussing Ready to Love, Make a Move, Season 1, Episode 3. And I'm enjoying the show, y'all. Are you enjoying the show? You know, it's funny because the first time when the show was coming on, I was like, I don't know why they got Sharice and Zadia on here. We've already seen them. Let's give us some new ladies on the show. And I was hoping at first that I wish they would have gotten different people. But I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm starting to see a little bit of value in already kind of knowing a little bit about Zadia and Sharice. Because really what it started focusing on was because I wasn't getting to know new women, Vernisha, any of them. I think what I'm focusing now on is, have I seen any growth in these ladies? Have I seen any growth in these ladies since when all of them appeared on Ready to Love? And honestly, y'all, I haven't. I haven't seen no growth. Well, you know what? Maybe Zadia is a little bit better. I haven't seen no growth in Sharice. To be honest with you, I don't think I'm seeing much growth in Vernisha. I'm going to talk about Vernisha because I got a different opinion, y'all. I'm starting to change a little bit of my opinion about Vernisha. I don't think I've seen that much change. And to be honest with you, I couldn't quite remember Ashley, but for some reason I feel like Ashley's worse. I think Ashley needs some vitamins. I'm going to talk about that too. But before I get deep into this review, I just want to let y'all know, those of you who don't subscribe to my channel, who don't get alerts, please subscribe. Please push that subscribe button. But I want to let y'all know that I did post my first video of What Does Auntie Say. It's a juicy one, y'all. It's got sex, lies, and videos. It's got sex, lies, adultery, violence. It's got a whole lot in it. I did post it. I'll leave the link at the end of this video. Please go ahead and watch it. All I did was play the video, and then I'm on Sunday at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 Eastern. I'm going to come back. I'm going to do a premiere of it, which means the live chat will be open. Y'all can add your comments in the chat as well, and you can hear what I have to say. I think I might surprise some of you. With what I have to say. But you need to go listen to the video now. After this video, go listen to that video. It's not a long video, but go listen to it because you need to listen very carefully so y'all will be ready tomorrow for the live chat. So you got some homework to do. All my other aunties, uncles, nephews, and nieces, y'all got some homework to do after this video. Go listen to that video, drop down the chat, and then meet me there tomorrow. But let's get into this Make a Move, Ready to Love episode number 3. And let me tell you, it started off with this whole back and forth with Sharice and Zadia again. Once again, we still where we left off last week, sitting on the couch arguing about why you wake me up at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to say this. We all know that Sharice is a hot mess. Sharice likes to argue. And now as we are seeing, Sharice never has that much to talk about unless she's fussing and fighting. I really hope everybody sees it. When she's sitting in front of a man, Sharice doesn't have anything to say. All Sharice is doing is complaining about how everybody else is a poor communicator, but she's obviously the best communicator. Listen to Sharice. Sharice complains about Zadia's communication. She complains about this new guy, Walter's communication. Remember on Ready to Love, she complained about Samson's communication. That was why she didn't like Samson, because she felt he didn't communicate. Sharice, you're the problem. Sharice is the problem. I don't understand why people don't see this. I don't understand why people are all on Walter. I don't understand this at all. I'm telling you right now, Sharice is the problem. And people feed off of energy. And Sharice's energy when it comes to conversation, she only likes to complain. That's her whole conversation. When have you ever heard Sharice say anything nice, pleasant, uplifting, warm, fuzzy, encouraging, something that made you smile, something that made you laugh? Never. Sharice's personality is dry, boring, it's negative, and it's not a personality you really want to be around, but all she complains about is other people's communication. So I'm going to say this. Sharice wants to complain about Zadia. That's just because who Sharice is. But I also want to say this about Zadia when I say Zadia doesn't see herself. Zadia is rude. And I don't know why Zadia doesn't understand this. The one part I did get with Sharice is what Sharice was saying, I don't understand how you call someone at 7 o'clock in the morning and you don't say, please, thank you for opening the door for me. And so what Zadia was saying was, well, you should have just communicated that to me. You didn't have to put me on blast. First of all, Zadia, you are a 30-something-year-old woman. People learned how to say please and thank you when they were little kids. Didn't y'all teach your kids that? When you hand them something, say thank you. When you ask for something, say please. Zadia is using this position that because people are rubbed wrong by her, it is now our job to teach her. That's a problem. That's a problem. The problem is that Zadia doesn't have some basic etiquette. Just like when she brought up the fact, can I have guys over? Now, I like the fact that she asked Sharice, right? But a lot of people would have thought that was even an inappropriate thing to ask when we are all four women in a strange city with strange men. A lot of women would think, why are you even asking that question? Why would you think that's appropriate? And this is what I'm telling you about Zadia. Zadia thinks about herself, her own feelings, her own wants, her own needs, and she's rude. And then what she does is when you call her on her rudeness, she puts the blame on you and says you need to be the one that has better communication. Why do I have to teach you etiquette? Why is it my job to teach you how to think about other people? Right? Why do I have to teach you that? Now, do I think Sharice handled it right? No, I don't. But I also don't like this part of Zadia where she's rude and she's unthankful. If y'all remember in this episode, there's a part in the episode where Cameron tells Zadia, you look beautiful today. And Zadia just looks at him. And what Cameron then says to her is, oh, you're welcome. Because what he was saying was, where was the thank you? Where was that? I just told you look beautiful and all you did was look at me. All you did was look at me. You didn't even say thank you. He had to come back and say, well, you're welcome. What he was saying to her is, you're ungrateful. You're ungrateful. And that's the part about Zadia, even in this little back and forth, the fact that I told Sharice, if you didn't want to open the door, you shouldn't have opened it. Don't open no door. Don't do nothing for anyone and then go back and then start complaining and yelling and screaming at them. If they're rude in the beginning, just ignore it. I wouldn't have even opened the door. If I was feeling the way Sharice was feeling, if I really felt that way, I wouldn't have opened the door. I would have just laid in my bed and done just like Ashley did and Vernisha did and said, I didn't hear my phone. That's what I would have done. And then what Zadia can do is Zadia can sit out on the curb, on the step until somebody wakes up, or Zadia can climb through a window, or Zadia can call Tamika, or Zadia can call the producers of this Zadia can call the producers of this Ready Love Make a Move, and she can ask them, can you come bring a spare key and let me in? But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to do something, be mad, and then still be yelling and fussing and screaming like Sharice. But like I said, this is actually what Sharice likes to do. Sharice likes to fuss, scream, blame people, correct people, and tell everybody else about their poor communication skills. And she ain't got to say nothing or communicate in any kind of different way. Not even talking about somebody that tells all your business is not to be trusted like Sharice. Well, I don't know why you trusted Sharice in the first doggone place. Why, when you coming in after the walk of shame, y'all know the walk of shame when you stay the night over a man's house and you leave with the same old clothes, the walk of shame. Why, when Zadia was coming home from the walk of shame, that's why it's called the walk of shame. Why, if you are already in a shameful position, why would you call Sharice to open up the door? That's on you, Zadia. Once again, like I said, Zadia doesn't think of anyone else but herself. Maybe she thinks Sharice is the person who wakes up early. Maybe the word in the house is that Sharice wakes up early. So that's why Zadia calls Sharice, because she knows Sharice to be the one that wakes up early. Well, once again, Zadia's just looking at it from her perspective. She ain't looking at it from nobody else's perspective. And when Zadia was coming home from the walk of shame, now she's embarrassed that Sharice is spilling her shameful behavior. That's on you, Zadia. That's on you. Take your own accountability for your own actions. And that's what I say I have a problem with Zadia. Zadia also doesn't take accountability for what she says and what she does. Zadia thinks it's all about trying to improve communication, but really what it is confrontational. It's confrontational. Both she and Sharice are both two people who love to confront people on things people should be doing for them. Get out of my face. I don't owe you anything. I don't even hardly know you. I just met you. I don't like when people are beginning of relationships and all of a sudden they come with a whole list of things that I owe you special favors. No, I owe you dignity and I owe you respect. That's what I owe you. But they sending these girls out on these dates. We're going to go through all the dates one by one. We're going to go through the date with Sharice that she went on with the first guy that came through. What was his name? His name was Walter. She came through with Walter. Walter was the musician. He was married for a long time, 19 years. And he took her on a horse-drawn carriage. And Sharice said, I've never done this before. Sharice is 40-something years old. And she's never been on no horse-drawn carriage before. Never, ever, ever. This is what I'm talking about with Sharice. Sharice is boring. I really don't know what Sharice has done in life. I really don't know what's going on with Sharice. I don't know the type of man that Sharice, my impression of Sharice is Sharice back in the day was this really, really young, hot woman. She's still a pretty woman, but I think when she was in her 20s, she was really hot. She was very beautiful. I think that Sharice used to go out with a lot of probably football players, different people like that. She told us that already, love. And Sharice is still living in her heyday. Sharice is still living in her heyday. She was probably a big gold digger back in the day, a very big gold digger back in the day. And she never closed the deal. She never closed the deal. And now what's happening to Sharice is she's running out of time. Sharice is running out of time because she's 40-something years old. And I think a lot of what Sharice did was she took for granted her younger years when she probably had a whole lot of bait to catch a man to get married. And she pissed that away. And now here she is at 40 years old. And I don't know, Sharice has got to be feeling like she wasted a good part of her dating life. She's got to be feeling that way. Because even here at 40-something years old, and she talks about how she's used to dating rich men, and none of them rich men ever took her on a horse-drawn carriage nowhere in the streets of New York or nowhere else. Good Lord, woman. You never even did it for yourself with girlfriends, anything. And now you get to see that Sharice really doesn't have any conversation. I know Sharice wants to blame the other guy, Maurice, for not having any conversation. But here she was now. I hope y'all saw it. Here she was on a date with Walter, who was very talkative. Very talkative. He's in the entertainment world. He started talking about he's traveled all around the world. He's been a lot of places. He's written songs for some top artists, T-Pain. He started mentioning a whole lot of people. But what did Sharice have to say? What were Sharice's follow-up questions when this man was kicking off the conversation? Remember last week I said that Sharice had no conversation. She didn't know how to have any open-ended questions. She didn't know how to, she's not a conversationalist. Everyone kept saying, well, it's Maurice's fault. It's Maurice's fault. He don't know how to talk. He don't have no conversation. Well, guess what, people? Guess what? Now you got to see Sharice on a date with a man who actually had some conversation. He had a lot to talk about. And every time he tried to open up a conversation, what did Sharice say? Oh, really? Oh, wow. Oh, really? When that man said he had traveled all around the world, he's been a lot of places. Did Sharice say, really, what are some of the favorite places you've been to? What is the most fascinating place you've traveled to? What did you do there? What did Sharice do? Oh, really? Oh, really? Sharice don't have no conversation. I hope you guys see it now that it's not about Maurice. It's about Sharice. Sharice doesn't have any conversation to start it, so she don't know how to start it with Maurice. And she doesn't know how to chime in and have no conversation when someone else starts it like Walter does. The only conversation Sharice knows how to have is arguing back and forth with women. Back and forth with women. All Sharice talks about is how she's tired of working and she's ready for a man to sweep her off her feet. That's it. What can she get? What can she get? What can she get? What is Sharice offering? I'm still standing here waiting for it. All Sharice is saying is, I don't have no conversation. I'm not going to start no conversations. I'm not going to piggyback on none of your conversations. All I want you to do is give me. Sweep me off my feet because I'm tired of working this hard out here on my own in my business. It's a grind out here. It's tough. It really is. I get it, Sharice. And you've been doing it now for a long, long time since you were a young woman. Sharice always told us she's always been hardworking. She's had businesses since she was 19 years old. So now you're talking about something she's been doing for over 20 something years. She's tired. She's tired. But now she's coming to the dating game tired. She's coming to the dating game tired because she's been carrying the load for 22 years. She's coming to the dating game older, 42 years old. But now she's coming to the dating game with looks that have deteriorated since she was 22 years old. But now she's coming to the dating game saying she don't want to do nothing. She don't want to have no conversation. She don't want to be nice. She don't want to be sweet. And all she wants you to do is sweep her off her feet and take care of her and take her on nice dates where she don't have nothing to talk about. Take her on nice vacations where she don't have nothing to talk about. And give her. Why would anyone buy this deal? Why would a man who's rich with a whole lot of money buy Sharice? That's what I'm going to call it, buying her. Why would he buy her for life? Why wouldn't he just lease her? Why wouldn't he just take her out on a date or two and rent her? See, the difference between marrying and dating is renting versus buying. Why would I buy you though? Yeah, I might want to rent you. Yeah, I might want to lease you. But why would I buy you? Sharice got a problem. Not only are her standards a problem, she's got a problem with what she's offering. Her offer ain't good enough for what she wants. Sharice's offer is not good enough for what she wants. I was cracking up with that date she had with Maurice when she was sitting on that little picnic bench and he was eating them strawberries. And Maurice was saying, I'm going to let my money do all the talking. And Sharice was looking him up and down, noticing all his designer wear, his Louis Vuitton shoes with his toes hanging out. Later on, he had on that Louis Vuitton vest. Sharice liked it all. She liked every minute of it. So we knew right away who was Sharice going to choose when it came down to who she was going to choose between Walter and Maurice. It was no doubt about it. I don't care if that man sat there and ate strawberries and didn't say a doggone thing to Sharice. Because in the end, what Sharice most wants is the money. That's what she wants. And she might think that Maurice is not the man for her, but Maurice is absolutely the man for her. Because she actually needs a man who doesn't do a lot of talking. She absolutely doesn't. Because I'm telling you, the only time Sharice likes to talk is when she wants to argue. So she needs a man that's not going to talk much. So that means there'll be less arguments in the house. That's really what she needs. She thinks she needs a talkative man. So he'll talk and carry the conversations. But no, because every time he talks, what Sharice is going to do is she's going to contradict him. She's going to want to check him on what he's saying. That's the thing about Sharice. Sharice don't have no conversation for herself. But what she likes to do is when you come up with conversation, she wants to check you and tell you about yourself. See, she ain't bringing nothing to the table, but she want to criticize what you bringing to the table. That's why I'm going to tell you right now. I know a lot of you not Team Maurice, but I am. I would be just like Maurice. I would sit back and eat my doggone strawberries. And I would say, if you want me to bring the money to the table, which I'm bringing the money to the table, what you gonna bring? You gonna need to do something for this money. I'm with Maurice. Keep your mouth shut, Maurice, and eat your strawberries and let your toes hang out of your sandals. Sharice's complaint with this man, this man Maurice, is the same complaint she has with Samson, talking about they don't have good communication. It was the same thing she complained about Samson. The problem is Sharice doesn't have any conversation. I hope everybody is seeing it. I hope everybody is seeing that Sharice doesn't have any conversation. And what Sharice does is she over relies upon the man to be the one that carries the conversation. That's what she over relies upon. And when they don't deliver that, she blames them for it. That's what she does. She over relies upon the man to be able to one to carry the conversation. And then when they don't deliver, she blames them for it. She starts talking about, why isn't he talking? He's not an open book. Well, what do we know about Sharice? Sharice is calling somebody else a closed book, like they're hiding something. What do we know about Sharice besides the fact that she don't want to come open the door at 7 o'clock in the morning? What has Sharice shared besides the fact she wants a man to sweep her off her feet? What deep secrets, what deep emotions do we even know about Sharice? Sharice got a whole lot of demands, but Sharice ain't offering jack shit. Nothing. Maurice, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. Keep eating them grapes and them strawberries, and don't open your mouth until she opens hers. Team Maurice all day long. Now I'm going to move over here on to Ashley. Look, good Lord. Ashley, you know what? I know everybody kept saying Ashley needs a therapy. And I said that earlier on, and I'm not saying she don't need it. I think she does. But y'all, I got another theory with Ashley. Ashley needs some vitamins. Ashley is vitamin deficient. Hear me out, people. Hear me out. Ashley's over emotional crying, her uncontrollable energy, because I'm gonna tell you right now, it's uncontrollable. Has to do with a vitamin deficiency. Any of y'all watch Married at First Sight? Do y'all remember Married at First Sight, the couple? Do y'all remember the couple, Alexis and Justin? And Justin was a big crier. Come to find out, fast forward to today, Justin, revealed on his Instagram that he had an extra, I think it's an X chromosome. Is it X, XSY? Anyway, he had to go on hormonal therapy. He said he's got more of his emotions under control. And listen, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, not Jasmine. I'm gonna tell y'all right now that I believe that Ashley has a vitamin deficiency, and I'm gonna specifically say it is a B complex deficiency. Might be calcium, vitamin D. She needs to go get her real good vitamin, real good vitamin. I know y'all think I'm trivializing this, but I'm not. I'm not trivializing it. I don't have no cycle no more because I done gone through the change. But when I used to have the cycle, people know you get emotional around that time, your hormones or whatever else. What exasperates it also is if you have a vitamin deficiency, you become very emotional. And I've seen that not only back then, but other times in my life when I used to feel a certain kind of way and came to find out that I was just vitamin deficient. I had to go get a real good multi-food vitamin. And it cleared it up right away, y'all. It cleared it up right away. Sometimes you don't know why you're sad. Sometimes you don't know why you are too excited, maybe why you're crying. And a lot of people want to just say, certain things about you. Maybe you had a little bit of a mood swing. And sometimes with people, it's just a matter of being a vitamin deficient. Go get your vitamins, y'all. If you are anywhere near Ashley and you crying when you shouldn't be crying, or you crying too much, or you crying too soon, or you got a mood swing, or you're irritable, or you're sad, before you go all the way to be on these medications for these psychotherapists and all this other kind of stuff, just make sure your vitamins are in order. I take a multivitamin every single day, and I take a good one. I spend money on my vitamins. I don't be getting these little cheap synthetic vitamins that be like, I get the whole food vitamins. I know there's probably a whole lot of herbalists, whole food people in my here in my viewership. Please drop down and validate some of this stuff I'm talking about, because I think that Ashley is vitamin deficient. I really do. And I think also, Ashley, all this theatrics, these nails she got on, all this animation she has going with those nails, all of this high exuberance. One is, I think it's a vitamin deficiency. And the other part of it, I think somehow or another, it is her over eagerness to please. Because she said a comment in this episode when she was talking to Zadia, and when she said she went out on that date with that football player, that ex-football player. What was his name? Kirsten or something? It's like a girl name. But anyway, when she went out on that date with him, she was saying one of the things that she liked was that she didn't have to do all the work. That's telling me that she knows she does all the work. That tells me that for some reason, Ashley thinks she's got to be the comedian. She's got to be the caricature. And when you see Ashley on these dates, it does feel that way. She's doing too much. It's almost like she's trying to entertain everyone. I know she works with special needs kids. Why does Ashley feel she needs to be so animated? Because right now she's starting to look like a cartoon character. I'm not going to lie. I don't want to be mean about it, but Ashley is starting to look like a cartoon character with all this animation, all this theatrics, all the waving of those long claw nails. Over here patting the man's sweat off his ear, talking about how handsome he is, how much he's... Slow it down, Ashley. There's a nervousness to Ashley. There's an overexcitedness to Ashley. There's a need to please from Ashley. And I think Ashley is not balanced. I think Ashley is not balanced. And I'm not going to say that she needs to be on some type of medication. I don't. I think Ashley has a vitamin deficiency that's got her nerves. Her nerves are so high. They're so out of sorts. Her neurons, they're not all connecting correctly. And to be honest with you, I think she needs some vitamins. Selenium, vitamin D, B12 complex, the B6, the B12, the B9s, all of that. Ashley, if you hearing me, girl, go get you a real good vitamin. Start eating healthy. Get off that Chick-fil-A. When she know that whole Chick-fil-A order and she was running that down, actually, you might be eating too much junk food. Change your diet, get on a good vitamin, and I think Ashley is going to see some improvement in her mood, her swings, her crying, all of that. Because let me tell you, that date she had with that guy was a hot mess. Hot mess. He enjoyed the date. You know why? Because he was entertained. Because she was a caricature. He said if the energy was good, the conversation was good, but he don't want to be with Ashley. He does not want to be with Ashley, not one bit, not for no long term. I don't believe it. And I believe Ashley is about to go over here and choose that man over the man she's been with, which is the Donald. She's going to choose him because, like I told you, Ashley's a puppy dog. Ashley runs up on any man that gives her the validation that she needs. And because Donald didn't call her for 2 days and this other guy was all interested in her conversation and was making her feel good, I think she's going to end up choosing that new guy. I think she's going to end up choosing that football player. And in the end, she's going to end up in the same old spot. She's going to end up in the same old spot. And that is, people like Ashley's personality. They like her bubbliness. They like that she's entertaining. But people can't take Ashley for more than an hour. That's her problem. It goes back to what I'm saying. Marriage is about buying the other person. You buying that man buying you for a lifetime, all the time. It's good to be with someone for an hour, rent you, lease you. There's a lot of men you can be around for an hour or 2 hours, but can you buy that man? Can you be a no refund with that man? Same thing with a woman. Can you purchase that woman for a lifetime in marriage? Or do you just want to date her when you want to have a good time? You want somebody to make you laugh. You want someone to make you feel good who lifts you up. That's when you call Ashley. When you feeling down, when you want to do something, when you want to have some fun, you call your girl Ashley. But do you want to be around that 24/7 with the nails? No, you don't. No one can be around that type of energy forever and ever and ever and ever. Because let me tell you, you know who could be around that energy? A quiet guy. A quiet guy who can wind up Ashley and she can just run around and be the Energizer Bunny. But then guess what happens to Ashley? She gets tired. Like she just said, it's nice to be able to sit back and not have to carry the whole load. Well, there you go, Ashley. In one way, she wants a guy that matches her energy so she doesn't have to carry the whole load. But in the same vein, most people can't take Ashley that long. The only real person that's going to really value on Ashley is a guy who doesn't want to do any work, who's quiet, and then Ashley's going to burn out. She got a pickle. That's why I keep saying Ashley's got to be the one to change. Ashley's got to become the one that changes so she's more appealing to a wider variety of men. Ashley's got to change. And I'm telling you, I think it's going to start with a vitamin. Get a good vitamin, y'all. Get a good vitamin. She was all over Donald. Donald tried to explain to her that I did text you. Here's my Android phone. Here's your iPhone. The text didn't go through. I don't know. Maybe he was in a bad area when he texted. Maybe the cell phone coverage. Maybe he got Boost Mobile. You know when your text don't go through, but you didn't realize and you look later and go, oh, it never got delivered. Let me push it again. And it finally goes through. I don't know what happened. But even after he explained it and showed the text, it didn't matter because Ashley's feelings were hurt. Her feelings were hurt because, like I said, she's a puppy dog. She's overly sensitive. And as a result, she takes everything too far, too much. She was all on that man. They couldn't even have no good time because every time he tried to come back from it, she was like, nah, I don't believe you. I said last week that I didn't really think that Donald really liked Ashley anyway. I don't. I think he's just here for the shine. I think he's here for the camera. I don't really think he wants to deal with Ashley's antics long term. But I will say this. I still think that the way Ashley handled that particular situation, I thought she was like a dog on a bone. She couldn't let it go. She couldn't let it go because her feelings were so hurt. So hurt. And that's the thing when you're dealing with a real sensitive person. A real sensitive person is, even when you may do something that's wrong, that maybe you shouldn't have done or that hurt their feelings, it's hard for them to get over it because they're so sensitive. And you always have to walk on eggshells with them. Overly sensitive people, you really can never really win with them because when you're with an overly sensitive person, you know you're never going to be perfect. You're never going to be perfect. You're going to do some wrong things. So then what you got to deal with is, dang, I got to walk on eggshells. Then when I do something wrong and I come back and I apologize and I do my best, because you're so sensitive, it's a lot for me to dig myself out that hole with you because you're so sensitive. It just doubles and intensifies everything in a relationship. It makes everything twice as hard. So one is you offend people more, you offend that sensitive person more often. And then when you do come back and you want to apologize, you got to work 2 and 3 more times harder to get that person feeling okay because they're extra sensitive. And that's Ashley. Ashley runs and hides at the first sign of something wrong. She's like a scared little dog. She's like a puppy dog. She wants to be all up under you so you can rub on her and pet her. But the minute you do any one little thing, she running and hiding. And even when you come out to go and try and get her to, coax her out of the closet because she's so scared hiding in the closet, she don't want to come out no more because you hurt her so bad. And now she's waterworks and she's crying. Actually, go get some vitamins. Go get some vitamins. I feel like, I know we got left with a cliffhanger. I feel like Ashley's going to choose the football player. I think she's going to choose him. But to be honest with you, that football player like Zadia. I think that football player like Zadia more, even though Zadia wasn't giving him as much energy as Ashley did, he liked Zadia more sexually. Because when Ashley was up there telling that man how good looking and handsome he was, he never once told her she looked good. Not a one. He never told her, not a one time, that she was pretty and she was looking good. And that's what happens when you running your mouth the whole time and you not doing no listening. That's why dating requires balance. You got to be able to talk, yes, but you also got to be able to listen. And Ashley was doing all the talking, running her mouth, giving him a bunch of compliments, and not once did that man ever say to Ashley, "You pretty too, you look good too." Not on once. All he said was she was entertaining, energetic, and she made him laugh. Like he had a comedy show. But when he went over there with that video, when he went over there with that date with Zadia, he was throwing the compliments at Zadia. He said Zadia was beautiful. Zadia's been bringing the looks all season long. Her makeup has been on point. Her hair is looking good. Of course, Zadia has always had a nice body, but where Zadia falls flat all the time is that personality. I'm telling you, Zadia's personality is the biggest turnoff. Her looks are good. Her style is good. Her body is good. But Zadia's personality, I tell you, is not good. And that's where she loses men. That man said on camera that Zadia was breathtakingly beautiful. When that man got there and told Zadia that all he wanted to do was stare at Zadia and that he was just taking it all in, most women will realize that's a compliment. Most women will realize that when a man is saying to you, "I'm just taking it all in," that's a compliment. But did Zadia say thank you? Once again, no thank you. No thank you to Sharice. No thank you to Cameron. And now no thank you to this man saying, "I'm just taking it all in." Instead, what does Zadia do? Zadia all of a sudden goes all the way over to the negative. Why are you looking at me, Dad? Is something wrong with me? I told y'all before that Zadia is insecure. I know people didn't believe me. But when a man says to you, "I'm just taking it all in," I would not think the man is saying something is wrong with me and that's why he's staring at me. I would look at it as that's a compliment. Because you know what? Yeah, I do look good. So I would be like, "Thank you. Yeah, get your stare on." I would come back with a more clever line and say, "Yeah, I'm glad you like what you see." That's a time for you to give a compliment back to him and say, "You know what? I'm glad you like what you see. I like you as well. I think you're a handsome man." But I certainly wouldn't be saying, "Why? What's wrong with me? Is something hanging from my nose?" Zadia is insecure. I tell y'all, Zadia walks with a whole lot of confidence, but on the inside, she don't believe in herself. She does not believe in herself. And not only does she not believe in herself, she don't believe in other people. She don't trust other people. Even when this man said he's doing a prayer, it's a silent prayer. I get what Zadia is saying, but why you got to confront him on it? It's just a first date. It's just a first date. Why you got to confront it? "Well, I need to know what you praying about." Why? Say your own prayer in your silent prayer. Have your prayer, whatever you want to rebuke it in the prayer you give it. But why you got to come out your mouth, Zadia? I'm telling you, pretty package with Zadia. Pretty package. Horrible personality. Horrible dating personality because Zadia is confrontational. She's insecure. And she constantly wants men's actions to make her feel more comfortable. When Zadia is uncomfortable, I told y'all before, she gets assertive. So when she was uncomfortable with the man praying but not saying it out loud, what does she do? She says a smart comment. That's what she does. She doesn't know how to be quiet. She doesn't know how to sit back and being uncomfortable, waiting to see how it plays out. No, she likes to control the situation. She wants the situation to go exactly the way she wants, so she feels comfortable. This is why she chimes up every time something goes on that she doesn't like. And like I said, she rude. She don't know how to take a compliment. She don't know how to take a compliment, which also means she's already so critical about herself. When someone says something about her, then she's sensitive to that too. Zadia got a lot of work to do in her personality. She got the body down, she got the looks down, but she need to do some work on that personality. She need to do a lot of work on it. And what is this thing about she gonna gift the man a baby? We heard this before coming from Zadia, that Zadia didn't want to have no kids because she don't want to mess up her body. And that's what happens when you think that your body and your looks are the only thing you got going for you. That just tells you Zadia believes that the only good thing she got going for her right now are her body and her looks. And what she's saying is, I can't afford to lose this body or this looks, because then what else am I going to be dealing with? That's what I'm telling you. Zadia knows that she attracts men because of her looks and her body. And what Zadia is saying is, I don't want to mess up those two things, because then I won't be able to get no men. Because what Zadia knows is her personality don't attract men. Zadia don't attract men by her personality. She only attract men because her looks and the body. And she over here talking about, I will gift you one child. Remember before she said, I'll gift you a child if you pay for the mommy package and get my body back in shape. I done peeped Zadia. Zadia got fake confidence. Fake confidence. I already knew she was going to choose Cameron. She hooked on Cameron because we know they done slept together. Cameron and Zadia have slept together because I can hear this man's conversation. This man, the way this man touches her, hugs on her, kisses her, they done had sex. I'm pretty convinced of it now. And Zadia tries to sit over here and use this language like, okay, yeah, I think I like the way that we're getting to each other, know each other. And Cameron's like, yeah, because we know how to turn up. They be turning up in the bedroom. They be turning up in the bedroom. And Cameron's like, we got mad sexual chemistry because we be turning it up in the bedroom. And Zadia be trying to downplay it. Girl, the cat is out the bag. The cat is out the bag. No need to be mad at Sharice. You don't need to be mad at Sharice because it's written all over Cameron's face that you two done had sex. It's written all over his face, Zadia. Now we're going to go on and talk about Vernisha. Vernisha had a date too. Her new date was going to be with Walter as well, the musician. Walter liked the way that Vernisha looked. Well, who doesn't? We already know that Vernisha attracts a lot of men with that body she got. And a lot of people chimed in and said that Vernisha needs to change the way that she dresses. A lot of people talked about that. A lot of people talked about and said Vernisha's way of dressing is maybe too revealing, too whatever, too much of tight-fitting clothes. I'll say this. I'll say that Vernisha's style of dressing, if I really look at it, compared to Zadia, Ashley, and even Sharice, really is no different, y'all. They all wear tight-fitting clothes. They all wear their breasts out. I think what it is that Vernisha's body is so much more voluptuous than, say, a Ashley's or Sharice's. What happens is when she does wear tight-fitting clothes, her body just pops even more. So I want to be careful that I'm not telling a Vernisha of the world that, you know, hey, Sharice can dress with these tight-fitting clothes and revealing dress. Ashley can wear, you know, stuff down here with her breast all out. You know, Zadia can do it, but Vernisha, you can't do it because you got way too much donkey dunk in the trunk. I get what people are saying is it comes off on the camera more because there's just more of it. There's more of it. But I will say this to Vernisha. Vernisha also has to recognize that she has to decide if she wants to change the way she dresses, because maybe the way that because she has so much more, she attracts the wrong type of attention, and maybe she wants a different type of man. But then I'm going to say this. I think Vernisha is smart. I think Vernisha knows exactly what she's doing. This is why I'm about to tell y'all I have a different perspective of Vernisha. I think Vernisha knows exactly what she's doing. And let me tell you why. I think Vernisha knows that her body and her looks are one of her greatest assets to attract men. I think she knows that. And then what Vernisha often talks about when men ask her, she talks about how she's a homemaker and she likes to cook. Well, when she met with Walter's from Louisiana. And one thing I know about men from Louisiana, most of them know how to cook. Men from Louisiana, they grow up learning how to cook. Remember Joel from Ready to Love? He knew how to cook. Remember Married at First Sight people. Remember Armani and her man. He knew how to cook. Men from New Orleans know how to cook. And now she got Walter from New Orleans. And guess what? Walter knows how to cook. And when they were in the kitchen, and Walter, they did the cooking class, and Walter knew how to make etouffee better than Vernisha. He knew how to cook probably on par with Vernisha. And what Vernisha didn't like about Walter was, dang, he's taken away one of the things I bring to the table. He's taking away one of the things that I bring to the table. And that is, I like to tell men that not only am I pretty on the outside with this snapping body, whatever, I also am a homemaker, and I know how to cook. What Vernisha saw in Walter was that he knew how to cook. So she already knew right away, dang, I can't lure him in with the cooking. I can't lure this man in with the cooking because he knows how to cook just as much as I do. She knew that she could lure in maybe Jabari a little bit more with the cooking. And I think that Vernisha knows exactly what she's doing with her dressing because she's using that as one of the ways to lure men. Well, here's the problem. It's the same thing I said about Zadia. What are you relying upon as your whole package, lady? What is your offering? If all you're offering is a body and good looks, right? And sprinkle in there, I can cook. It's not enough to hold a person's attention for a 20-year marriage, 30 years marriage. It's not. They need more. They need more. And what I want to ask from Vernisha now is I want more from Vernisha. I do. I want to see some depth in Vernisha, because what I'm actually starting to see in Vernisha is even when she had the conversation with Jabari, and Jabari was really getting there. He says, what do you need from me? And Vernisha said, I need a man that makes a lot of money. Okay. So are we here too, Vernisha? Is Vernisha really a version of Sharice, but in a different kind of way? Vernisha's raised 3 kids. 3 kids. She wants a man that makes a lot of money. She wants the man to be the provider of the household. So remember, when Vernisha might have had her 3 kids and they were younger, if Vernisha had this same conversation when she was younger, she wants a man to provide. She was asking for a man to come into her life and take care of her and her 3 kids. That would have been a tall order. A tall order. Now here's Vernisha. Her kids are grown. Now it's just her, and she wants the man to provide. Jabari said, well, how much is that? And Vernisha said, well, I'm an entrepreneur, so there's no limit to the money. And what Jabari says, no, there's a limit. There's a limit. He says, I work a 9-to-5 job. I think he's some type of analyst. He says, no, there's a limit to my money. There's a cap on how much money I make in my career. There is a cap. These companies not giving me unlimited money. So there's a cap. And what he's saying is, will my cap be enough? And Vernisha kind of was saying no. I think Vernisha said she's tired too. Vernisha's been a hairstylist, I believe, had her own hair salon for a long time. And in the hair salon business, if you don't work, you don't eat. If you don't work, you don't eat. And let me tell you, Vernisha's tired. So for what Vernisha wants a man to be able to pay all her bills. And what she's saying is Jabari can't do that. She called his life a modest lifestyle. A modest lifestyle. So what Vernisha says, I don't want to lower my standard of living. I make X amount of money and I don't want to have to lower it. So what she's saying is, when the man comes into my life, I don't want to be 50-50, because what Vernisha wants is Vernisha doesn't want to work. So he needs to have enough money to take care of what she's already doing. And then she can work, go to part-time. Maybe she can do only a few heads a week. That's what Vernisha's asking for. And what Vernisha is bringing to the table is she's going to bring her looks, her body, and she can cook. But Walter said, well, I know how to cook. So now Vernisha's like, dang. So I guess I can only bring my body and my good looks. Woo! You know, Vernisha and Joel had a lot of problems when they were dating on Ready Love. And I'm going to tell you this. When they didn't work out, I knew it wasn't going to work out. And I'm going to tell you guys why I knew it wasn't going to work out. I knew back then it wasn't going to work out because I didn't think that Joel wanted Vernisha to be the stepmothers to his 2 girls. If you remember, Joel had 2 young girls because he was widowed because his wife had passed away. And I don't believe that Joel wanted Vernisha to be the stepmother of his kids, because I believe that Vernisha does lead with her body. I do believe Vernisha leads with her looks. I think she's a good person. I think she's a good soul. I think she's sweet. But I actually don't think that Joel wanted that as the image for his two daughters. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. And I think Vernisha knows what she wants in a man. And I think that Vernisha is a little bit rigid in it. Because even when Jabari asked her, can I have a pool table in the house? Vernisha said no. Why, Vernisha? Why not? He asked Vernisha, can I have at least in the man cave? She said no. Why, Vernisha? Remember already in love, Vernisha, people said that she was too aggressive. When Vernisha doesn't want something, when she doesn't like it, Vernisha chimes up. She actually does. She actually chimes up. I think Vernisha is confusing boundaries with rules. That's another thing I think. I think she's sort of developing more boundaries for herself. But I think Vernisha also has a whole lot of rules. A whole lot of rules for men. A whole lot of rules. You're starting to hear them come out, and they're starting to be deal killers for men. Jabari's already getting uninterested. But what Vernisha will get in a man is they will become uninterested in her rules. They will become uninterested in the rules that she had, but they would stay interested in that body she got. They would stay interested in that body. And so what they would do is, I'm going to go back to it. They would rent Vernisha. They would lease Vernisha, but they wouldn't buy her. They would take her for a spin with that body when they wanted to, but they wouldn't buy her because they don't really want her at home with them with all these rules. They don't. They don't. I'm sorry to say it. Vernisha will be a good girlfriend. She will be sweet. But I'm starting to see some things about Vernisha where a lot of men would want Vernisha behind closed doors. Closed doors. They may not even want a bunch of men googly eyeing their woman the way a lot of men probably lust after Vernisha. I'm going to say it. The men may be, yes, maybe the men are insecure. Maybe they are. But they're not going to tell Vernisha to stop dressing like that. And do they want the woman to always be dressing like that out in public with them so other men can look at her and lust over her? Nope. A lot of men don't, y'all. A lot of men don't. I know Vernisha keeps saying that she's wife material, but Vernisha needs to start asking more questions. She needs to start asking more questions about why her relationships aren't progressing past dating, past renting, past leasing. Vernisha might want to be able to listen to some real truth from these men. And I remember when she and Joel broke up, one of the things she said was, Joel never communicated with her. Joel never ever told her the real truth of why he didn't want to continue with her. He spared her feelings because I think people like Vernisha. Vernisha's sweet. And he didn't really want to tell her the real truth. And therefore, he didn't communicate with her. I believe that's with a lot of men. I believe a lot of men, when they're ready to break up with Vernisha, they just do wrong things and then Vernisha breaks up with them. They don't break up with Vernisha because they really don't want to break up with her because she's a sweet woman. They like her body, but they know they don't want to buy her. And so what they do is they quietly get fired. They do mischievous things. And then what happens is Vernisha breaks up with them. But what Vernisha isn't realizing is they weren't going to marry her. They were going to break up with, they didn't want to leave, but they didn't want to marry her. So now she gets the position that she's let the man go. But honestly, the man has let her go. I see the previews coming up next week, and I already can see that Jabari is about to become uninterested in Vernisha. I can see it already because the conversation coming out of Vernisha's mouth, I don't think that Jabari is going to like it. Not one bit. So when people say Vernisha needs to dress differently, I'm going to say in a lot of ways I agree with it because Vernisha actually needs to start attracting a guy who's going to like her for herself and not for her body. And if she advertises with the body, it's more of a chance that that's what's going to come to her first. It's going to be hard to hide it anyway, but I can agree with people who say it's hard to hide that body, but you don't actually have to put it up front so much because I think Vernisha is going to need to get another person who actually listens to the rules and regulations that Vernisha has, because I actually think in the end, that's why the men are saying no to Vernisha. I think because I do think that she's a sweet woman, but I do think that Vernisha is regimented in some of her rules, and a lot of people are not really with it. They not with it. That's it, y'all. What do you think? Hey, don't forget to watch my video, the new first video I had about Ask Auntie. Here's the link right here above my head. Go watch it, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.